Welcome into the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, JT, and we're joined here once again with the infamous Matthew McGregor of the Daily High. We're calling this show the Weekly High. There's an interesting thing happening in the market. We're definitely seeing, at least on the short term, we're seeing a very strong rotation into altcoins that we will get into a little bit on the show today.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah, I got some feedback here. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, I had the YouTube going on in the background, and then I heard myself talking, and it was in my ear, and I couldn't think after that. Anyways, we're definitely seeing an interesting rotation into alts. We're going to dive into that. I want to take a look at Bitcoin dominance. We're obviously going to cover Bitcoin and a little bit of we'll go into a few altcoins. Anyways, without any further ado, Matt, do you want to kick us off here on what you're seeing with Bitcoin?
Yeah, happy to do so, mate. All right, I'm in the charts right now. Look, weekly time frame. First candle of the week. First day of the week. Last week's candle wasn't very productive. It didn't push on any further and close higher. But I'm not so concerned about it on the weekly. The weekly looks totally fine to me. I can definitely see us coming down to that 110 area, so anywhere in this gap to fill here to come back down and touch on the 7 simple moving average. Definitely, I can see that. I don't really want to see that. There's a lot of momentum that got sucked out of the market last week after an all-time high, and I think people are still a bit, I don't know, in disbelief when we go up to 125. Now we go back to 117. The mood has just shifted. I don't know, people are getting a bit greedy, I think. It's a bit scary how the sentiment is changing that quickly from euphoria to, we're going down. I don't feel that way. As I look at some of the oscillators right now, I've been mentioning this for weeks now. This is still in full effect, the divergence on the RSI. This is in effect until it's not. And at the moment, it's been perfectly respected, which is, if you don't know what the divergence is, that we put in back in March, of 2024, a high, and then another high, back in January, and then another high now. But then the RSI is continually doing the opposite. That's called a bearish divergence. And we came up to the absolute point of that line and rejected when we got to 125 or whatever it was. That was what I really thought we were going to do. Now, we can definitely work our way back around and break this, which would be an absolute classic thing to do. But we haven't done it yet, so it's still in place and it's relevant. Some of these other oscillators still look fantastic, and there's absolutely nothing to worry about. We haven't had a big bearish cross like this. We haven't started to dip in down like that, so all that is fine. Weekly looks fine, but as we go down to the daily time frame, we can start to see a few more interesting things. This is more concerning for the same reasons that I said I wasn't concerned on the weekly time frame. The daily is starting to show some of those signifiers of topped market. We got a magical MRI top that came in here, and then the MRI, this candle we're on right now, if once this starts trending down, it'll be a red star candle like this. You can see these red star candles, which can definitely be a good short trade to the downside. I don't know where this could go. The fact that we closed the daily candle here at a new low point, it's not very productive. The 7 is rolling over. I can see us coming back down and touching here very easily, which is about that 112 position. What was it on the weekly? You see, it's the same point. It's the same, which makes sense, obviously. But it's the same point, and I can definitely see that getting re-hit. Now, I do see that as a very, very good buying opportunity for multiple reasons, but I do see that is a real possibility. I'm not bearish, guys, not bearish at all. I don't see that as a bearish thing. I see that as a tremendously healthy thing to do, and good buying opportunity as well. And also, I can flip my bias very, very easy if we start to recover. And I'll show you on the 4 hour what I need to see. to flip that bias to really bullish again. This clearly see what we're talking about here. On the last daily high show I did, this happened while I was on air. Was this candle right here that broke through that descending line? The price was slightly above this, and just like I said on that divergence, I'm bullish until I need a reason not to be, and this line for me is the line that I'm flipping my bias to bearish short term. In that show, we came and pierced it basically like 10 minutes after I said it. I said, okay, well, that's it then. And from that time, we have done a very, very consistent thing of coming down, but then coming back up and retouching onto the moving averages, but like a throwback to the moving averages. But this is the point. When you always want to see those when we're above the price, we're above the moving averages. These don't touch on the moving average, and when on the moving averages and move up, I don't want to use the word bearish all the time because it's not common trading. When you're below the moving averages, it'll do that to the same thing, but to the ups, come up and fade and fade and fade, all those moving averages. So what am I looking for? Well, I would love a throwback inside the green wave, which, what do you know, is around that same price. And by the time it gets there, this is continually rising a lot faster on the 4 hour. Inside the wave, which is the 200 simple moving average on the 4 hour, a retouch of the 30 simple moving average on the daily, and that's rising too. It doesn't have to be at that price, just a retouch of that red line. And then once again, to wrap it all up on the weekly time frame, I would definitely like to see us retouch the 7 simple moving average, and they'll all be around the same price. That's what I'm seeing right now, Baloo, as I throw back to you.
Yeah, I'm kind of in proceed with caution mode as well. We saw a really powerful move out of Bitcoin last week, and or I guess we just closed a week, so week prior to last, and it hasn't made the same progress this week, but the smaller time frames are showing consolidation. The higher time frames, the weekly looks fine, but the daily is a concerning one. So I'm just let me get rid of this for just a moment. We're below the 7. If you're looking for momentum in a given mood, in a given move and a given impulse, you want to stay on top of the 7 when you're on the daily chart. So we are below the 7. So that's not a great thing. Now, like you said, the next port of call for a support is exactly what you said. We're looking at here, the 30 simple moving average on the daily or the 7 simple moving average on the weekly, both kind of in the general same spot. I'm repeating what you've already said at this point. The smaller time frames are where I'm a little bit more bullish. So this is what's kind of known as a Wyckoff reaccumulation after decline. Now, a Wyckoff reaccumulation after decline is characterized by this preliminary support or preliminary supply, because we're talking about a distribution first, into a buyer's climax where there is a failure to hold the new level and we create a new trading range at a lower level. Now, reaccumulation after decline is the weakest form of reaccumulation. So it's not all sunshines and it's not all rainbows and happy news here. This is the weakest form of reaccumulation. However, reaccumulation is a positive thing. So what I need to see that will probably resolve over the next 48 hours, if not sooner, is I need to see us reclaim this trading range. If we do not reclaim this trading range, and if we instead get a rejection from this trading range and start to take out this critical swing low right here at 115, those targets that we are discussing with the 7 simple on the weekly and the 30 simple on the daily, those are the downside targets that we would be looking for. So I don't have enough information. I think with the Monday open in the stock market, we're going to get a lot more clarity Usually you kind of get clarity on your weekly bias around Tuesday. This is no different. If we don't see that recovery here into this channel and start to at least tick above this median line here at 118, I want to see us clear above 119. If we can't get above 119 by Tuesday, I'm going to say that we're going to revisit some of those lows, probably close out my long position and wait for an entry. Like you said, a beautiful entry would be a throwback to those moving averages where we could see a 4-hour green diamond inside of the green wave. So yeah, that's what I would like to see as well. The other concerning thing for my bullish bias here on Bitcoin is how degen the altcoin market has been. It's like the altcoin market is screaming for a correction at this point because everybody has just FOMO'd into altcoins this week. It is full blown like altcoin season very, very quickly. That to me gets my, it's not a good thing when you go straight up like this. Especially when it's the kind of the first move of a rotation into altcoin season. So a lot of people are getting really excited. And usually when the herd gets excited, they're about to get spanked. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a little bit of a shakeup, a little bit of a downside move in the market, a 5% move down in Bitcoin. At this point in the altcoin cycle would be a 15 to 20 to 25% correction in the altcoins. So it's a precarious next 48 hours, in my opinion. I think proceed with caution. Certainly not the environment to be putting leveraged plays on altcoins, and just be very careful with any new positions in altcoins as it stands right now. Ethereum is reaching macro resistance here for its entire market cycle so far. It's getting really close to that resistance. If we take a look at Solana on the dollar pair, I'll just quickly rattle a few of these off just to kind of prove a point. We're kind of looking at that second shoulder for this a potential head and shoulders formation. So I don't know. I just feel like the herd is always wrong. And I feel like the herd has run into altcoins way too fast. So for that reason, I'm definitely wanting to see. I'm proceeding with an abundance of caution right now. And then lastly, the last thing that I want to see. So the question that a lot of people might have at this point, it's like, okay, well, we've seen so much capital flow into altcoins. What do you need to see for you to get excited about altcoins? And for me, I need to see a trend change in Bitcoin dominance. And as it stands right now, we took out our prior low. Our prior low here was at 61.89% in Bitcoin dominance. We have taken that out and we have created a new low. So that's check mark number one. But the next thing we need to see is we need to make sure that we don't take out the high. The high is currently set at 66 even for Bitcoin dominance. We need to come in for a lower high, whether that happens at the middle of this channel, whether that happens at the underside of this ascending channel that I have drawn here, whatever the case may be. I need to see that lower high for me to take action into alts. That hasn't happened yet. So I'm sitting out for now. I'm waiting for my move to make my rotation into a couple alts. And we will be making shows into some of those picks. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, right. I like this a lot. What you've got here with the dominance. I agree with you completely, but from a totally different perspective. Not totally different, but from a different perspective. I want to see this week. I think there's a really good opportunity for Bitcoin to have a bit of a bad week this week. And a bad maybe a couple of weeks. I think that that's possible. And I think that that'll suck out a lot of the air from the altcoin market. But I've been impressed by the altcoins not dying. And I think they deserve to die. And the fact that they're still going and that they've had this rally has tempted me back to the idea that I think I can make some quick money off some of these altcoins. So if I see Bitcoin have a bit of a fall this week down somewhere, and I see, a 10, 15, 20% retracement on some of these altcoins from this breakout, I'm not chasing a breakout. I think that's a really good opportunity to take a bit of a punt on these things, and that's what I'm seeing, mate. And I think that will work out really well with putting in a higher low, a lower high on your dominance here. I think that'll do the same thing.
Yeah, I think everything as it stands right now, whether you're looking at alts or whether you're looking at Bitcoin, we're in buy the dip territory right now. So it's just a matter of where's the dip? Are we going to get the dip over the next few days? Are we going to get the dip after a larger rally, a larger move in Bitcoin or alts? We don't know. We're going to have to see how things play out. But regardless, the next dip is probably going to be the most important dip for an altcoin trader to buy. So, it's still speculation at this point. That statement gets completely invalidated if we take out the high here on Bitcoin dominance. It'll just mean that this was just a scam, a scam pump in altcoins. If we take out the high in Bitcoin dominance, we've got to grind further to go in altcoins. But if we do put in that lower high,
yeah, and I do think we've got a scam pump to come as well. Do you know what I mean? That's that's a perfect word for it. I think that it's a scam pump either way, but I think that we can, as a community, make some money on this. Then maybe the next scam pump.
Yeah.
I like that word.
Altcoin season, the scam pump season. I've been very vocal about this the entire time. People have been trying to get into altcoins basically since the bull market kicked off in Bitcoin. And I've been very vocal on this channel. No, don't buy alts. Don't buy alts. Don't buy alts. It's not the time to buy alts. If you listened to me, you're up over 500%. If you didn't listen to me, statistically speaking, of course, there are outliers. Of course, there's outperformance out there. I don't need to hear about the edge cases. But statistically speaking, your portfolio is down 90%. So this chart is really important to pay attention to. And when this chart starts to look like this, then we're in altcoin season. Altcoin season comes around once every 4 or 5 years. And it lasts for 3 to 6 months tops. That's it. That's the entirety of it. So when it comes, you need to, make hay while the sun shines. But when it's over, it's done, and you're a Bitcoin maxi. And to do anything other than that is just, hurting your portfolio, hurting your purchasing power, hurting the whole reason that you're in crypto to begin with. All right. Are there any alts that you're looking at that you've been kind of like lining up for?
I did. So Baloo's teasing it out a little bit now, but we're gonna, when we feel like the time is right, put together a show. You can tease that out if you like, but look, I've lined these ones up so far. Go through these ones. XRP. I mean, the concern about the XRP is how far we've extended. That's the only concern, because this looks sensational. That descending breakout that we've had here, the purple phantom signal, the bullish cross, the wave turning green. So we have to wait. But that very, very tradable. Damn, I wish I saw that, was paying attention. Sui, this one looks really nice. I don't know what it is, but I think that there's a great opportunity here as well, not dissimilar to what we saw on XRP. I think that there's a high probability that this thing will do, a good jump too. And I'm interested in going into these shit coins just because of the potential upside. Like, I do see this thing could rally to $5 or whatever. Who cares what the price is? X price for your 28%, for your 50%, and so on and so forth. I think that there's upside in this in a very short period of time. We've had some really good trading. I'm just looking at the weekly right now, but alphanumerics looks really good on these shit coins, like the purple phantom coming in, the bullish cross, that kind of run up there that we saw in late last year, about a year ago, on this stupid thing is 400%. Do you know, like, I don't know if we're going to do that again, but you can see there's been some real smooth trading on this thing, and I think that this thing looks ready to go. Link, once again, like, I'm just going to rinse and repeat, because this is not diversified trading. I'll do that better.
Yeah.
Completely correlated trading. They are completely correlated, all of them. But this phantom breakout, descending line, boom, maybe, it's all the same. Let's go through it. Ethereum. This one doesn't do that. It's a bit different, completely different. But my lord, did a Ethereum look that was worse than like what a shitcoin would do. That horrible crash that it went through, and that would have really suffered a lot of people. And like where Ethereum looks right now, it looks like it's got a $4,000 ceiling. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that interested in Ethereum right now. Looking at this, maybe on its fourth attempt, it can break 4,000.
I'd much rather be a buyer above 4,000. And people, I get there's always trolls in the comments who are like, oh, how does that make sense? You won't buy Ethereum at 3,700, but you'll buy it at 4,200. Yeah, because it means that I'm going to make money. At 4,200, I'm going to make money. At 37, the probabilities of me making money are exponentially lower. So yeah, I'd rather pay it.
I'd rather buy. It's a great call. I'd rather buy above 4,000 because that's. No, whoever did somebody really say that in the comments? Because that's retarded.
Oh, it happens all the time, but that's just YouTube comment section for you.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a crystal ball, I could have bought it at 1,000 6 years ago. Why didn't you just do that? Okay,
yeah,
thanks, dude. And again, Doge. This is the same like all the other dodgy coins that we're looking at here. It has potential with this phantom breaking this trend line, wave turning green. I think they're all going to run, but I do think this is a perfect example. So if we get rid of Ethereum, I'm going to get rid of Ethereum. I'm not interested in Ethereum.
All of them have that double bottom, that 70% retracement, double bottom phantom signal. All of them, they have the exact same setup.
Yeah, and so either I'm wrong. Except XRP. XRP might be the lead. I mean, it did that, but now it's the leader.
It still has a double bottom and a phantom.
Oh yeah. No, it absolutely has. It's just leading the herd. Like it's a few weeks ahead of the herd, or a week ahead of the herd, I should say. Now, see, this is the key point takeaway. Either I'm wrong, and these things are all just going to go oof, and we're going to miss it, and that's fine. I don't miss it. I'm already in Bitcoin. So I have to sell Bitcoin to go into these. So I don't mind, right? But either it's going to go, and we've completely missed this idea. We've got to roll into some shit coins, or they'll all do it, or they'll do what I suspect, which is Bitcoin will have a bit of a hard week and they'll draw back somewhat. Okay. Let's just say they'll draw back down to here, for example, 3% move. They might come back to the breakout area, get a 3 something like that percent move. Then I would be interested, to be honest, in starting this show to roll into these assets. Assets is very kind for a period of 2 to 3 months, depending if they rock it. The other option is if you got spooked out of this dip that I think's coming, as we just mentioned about the above 4,000 for Ethereum, the second attempt, if we made our way back up and we got to this point where we're all at now, reboot, I'd be just happy at that point as well. So Baloo, I'm back to you.
Yeah,
what do you reckon?
I agree. I think, well, we can take a look. So the show that Matt's referring to, we are going to be doing an altcoin portfolio allocation contest between Matt and I. I'm going to pick 5. He's going to pick 5. And we're going to see which team reigns supreme with the altcoin picks that we're going to make. But we are going to wait for the right time for that to happen, which both of us, I think, agree it's not quite the right time. I do think that, there is a possibility that these do just keep going. And in that case, it's fine. We'll just make sloppy entries. We're holding Bitcoin anyway, so it's just converting one bullish asset for a different bullish asset. So the entry doesn't need to be nailed. But we both think that, we're going to get this pullback of some kind. Some of the alts that I'm looking at. So you're looking at ETH. I'm looking at Solana. Now, I tend to do a lot of my analysis on the Bitcoin pair. The reason I look at the Bitcoin pair is I find that, Matt and I, we're both Bitcoin maxis, and we are not alone. When the Bitcoin maxis start to look at the market, because we've seen it so many times where the market shows the ability for altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. There are plenty of Bitcoiners out there that will go into the altcoins when they start to show an outperformance, and they'll sell some sats to buy some shits, some trash out there. And there are plenty of other people just like us. So I want to monitor those individuals. So I tend to lean more on the Bitcoin comparative charts. And it's also a little easier for me to see these setups play out. Like the Ethereum chart is really weird on the dollar pair, but when we take a look at Ethereum on the Bitcoin pair, it's a lot cleaner, in my opinion. There's a very clear downwards. There's a very clear downtrend here. There's a very clear prior support / resistance range. And we've cleared that range. We held support and resistance here at the 3 million sat range for Ethereum for a good long time with this inverse head and shoulders before it ripped in the prior cycle. And we tore right through it. Ethereum has had a terrible, terrible go. But we're back above it. And if we can stay above it and clear this downtrend, this multi-year downtrend, that's going to be an incredible buying opportunity. And on the Bitcoin pair, I'm seeing a lot of this type of setup where you have that very clearly established downward sloping line of resistance, and we're waiting to take out that resistance point. So it's the same story, different coin here on Solana. I'm waiting to see us take out this downward sloping line of resistance. You can draw it a couple different ways. If you want to get a little earlier to it, you could slant it down so it's only touching the candle closes, whatever you want to do to kind of make your entry. But as soon as price starts ticking above all of these moving averages and gets above this upwards or this downward sloping line of resistance, it's going to be a pretty clear indicator to me that there's a rotation taking place. Solana is outperforming Bitcoin. It's time to take a position into that asset. Another one that I'm looking at quite closely, because I spent basically all week this week, it's not all I did, but I have been getting in so many Twitter fights with the delusional Caspa crowd. These guys are just as convinced as you possibly can be that Caspa is going to replace Bitcoin, that Caspa is an honest competitor to Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what you tell them. They throw all the narratives at you. Oh, I wish you should really learn more about Bitcoin, because if you knew more about Bitcoin, you'd be into Caspa and all this like ridiculous narrative shit. So for that reason, crypto is a narrative driven market, and with a narrative so strong for what is coming out of Caspa, I cannot help but take a shitcoin position in Caspa, because the delusion in that cult is so strong that it's a no-brainer for me. So, and we got this kind of double formation. The purple candle's in the wrong place. This might be different on the this is the US dollar pair. Let's actually take a look at Caspa on the Bitcoin pair. All right, so it's again that downward sloping line of resistance, which I love. That's such a cleaner setup for me. So I'm probably going to stick to these Bitcoin setups. So as soon as we can start getting above the 7, getting above the 30, getting above the 50, it's smooth sailing here for Caspa, in my opinion, as far as its ability to outperform Bitcoin. But Yeah.
I mean, if it outperforms Bitcoin, it will be, this show that we're going to do might turn really funny. It might be that we buy some of these shit coins, take it for like a month, and then short every position we've got open. That's how much I feel about these coins. Do you know what I mean? That's how much of a maxi I am on Casper, that I would, if this broke that descending line, got above those moving averages and jumped up, 80 points, I would short the ass out of it.
Yeah.
Down to zero.
Well, I'm not going to stand in the way of something that's holding irrational strength personally. It's also not really listed anywhere, so you struggle to short it. But I will definitely be at the top selling it to the fools that think that it's better than Bitcoin. We got another comment here for STX. Now, this one is not going to be one of my picks, but we will take a look at STX really quickly. Now, STX is a side chain, a Bitcoin side chain. It's not a layer 2, it's a side chain. And we'll do Bitcoin actually. STX BTC. Yikes, that's a ugly ass chart. What the hell's going on here? STX BTC. Let's go with OTX. OKX. And yeah, it's a wild one. That's a gnarly, ugly formation to look at.
Oh, I like it. I like. Look at the volatility.
It's got the double, the volatility. So what you're looking for those who are interested, one of the cooler things, one of the easier things for a new person to spot is what's referred to in the Wyckoff method as a change of character or a change of behavior. When you're in something really tight like this, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the rallies and the reactions are a lot more expansive, and it's a big departure from the normal candlestick characteristics that you were seeing down here. That's a really big sign that it's ready to just continue in an uptrend. So it's called a change of character or a change of behavior when you go into those really tight range, really stupid little candles, and then all of a sudden they get progressively more expansive. It's a good sign that a rally is forming and you should take a position. What were you going to say? I cut you off there, but
no, I'm agreeing with you completely on this thing. But just like some of the volatility that you see in some of these pop-offs that happen just like overnight and completely 100% retrace, if not minus retrace the places they were at. Can you just measure some of those moves there, like those big, like up to
these?
Yeah, from like up
this
to
this is in Bitcoin. 235% more Bitcoin.
Yeah. Same again. Yeah.
260% more Bitcoin. Even like 3 of these little pumps right here.
That's what I'm saying. Like
100% more Bitcoin. 140% more Bitcoin.
Like if I saw those, if we got in on this one, SPX, whatever it's called, and then we were able to shoot up and get a red diamond on the. Is it the weekly or daily? Daily.
This is the weekly.
Weekly. I'd be so out at those red diamonds, but I think that there's a trade on this actually.
Yep. Stuff's lining up. Stuff is setting up. CRV is one that we've covered a few times. It's a very clean Wyckoff accumulation range that we've identified. Shout out to Mauricio. He's always in the live streams. He's in the private group. Speaking of the private group, if you guys haven't already done so, just go to blackbox.pro. It's super easy questionnaire. It's what's your name, what's your email, and why do you want to join? And that's it. That's all you need to join our free trading Discord. If you don't know anything about trading, we've got plenty of educational material for you to go and take a look at. Go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, or just simply sign the QR code that's popping up on the screen right now, and that'll just get you into the questionnaire, and we'll see you guys in there. But shout out to Mauricio from the group who's been monitoring CRV for a while. Just super clean. It's pound for pound, move for move, just a really clean Wyckoff accumulation. And it's coming off of its backup LPS, last point of support. I don't need to get into the Wyckofian lingo. The important thing for people who don't know what the Wyckoff method is and how it works is we're at the point of acceleration. This is the launch pad. This is the diving board. This is where it takes off. Maybe diving board's a bad analogy. This is the rocket ship. This is where it goes up. So yeah, there's lots of different alts that we can look at that are postured this way. Now, just because it's postured that way doesn't mean that, the pump is happening tomorrow. I still think that we've had a very exuberant week, and it would be healthy for us to get a little bit of a pullback, but things are looking good. It's definitely a positive rotation in the direction of degeneracy.
I think the diving board was a perfect analogy. I think that we'll see
eventually.
All right, let's wrap her up.
Yeah. Brian McKenna asks if I'm still keen on Sonic. Still keen on it. We're not going to do TA on it today. We'll be doing. There will be plenty of TA on altcoins in the coming months. I can only assume that all of the demand and appetite in the market will be towards those in the coming months. But still keen on it. Now the thing is, we'll leave on this note. If you are new. And what I mean by new, if you've been trading in this market for less than 5 years, you're going to be very tempted to buy a lot of different altcoins. If we actually head into an altcoin season and get into this craziness, you're going to have a hard time not buying altcoins. One of the very first things that we both said, Matt said it first on this show, is all of these coins are the same. They're all correlated. There is no such thing as an outlier in crypto. There's Bitcoin and there's crypto. You're going to have some cryptos that outperform, pound for pound a little bit more than the others, but the market structure is the same. The rallies are the same. The pullbacks are the same. The consolidations are the same. Don't overwhelm your portfolio picking up too many altcoins. If you find yourself in a position where you can't, identify your portfolio with two hands, you're in trouble. So, but anyways, we'll be the source of a lot of that FOMO in the coming months. But just as a reminder, don't get too bogged down with that kind of stuff, and just keep a level head. Come up with the plan as to how you want to trade this market now, because you will not be able to come up with a good plan when you're in the actual euphoria and in the move. Come up with a plan now, stick to the plan, and execute on it.
Do you remember we met in, was it when we were in Singapore last year? I don't remember, but that your friend that you met from Thailand, who has those amazing blue eyes, the sparkling blue eyes, looks like a Native American or something, and he's got those like three beautiful daughters. He travels with his wife. This guy, I wasn't following him on Twitter, but he popped up on my Twitter feed last night, and I started following him. I dig his style. This guy's like a savant. Do you know? He like lives on the Bitcoin standard, just like I do and we do. But he'd been doing it for a long time, a lot longer than us, as far as I know. And he posted a really cool tweet yesterday about his plan, forecasting for what he's going to do with Bitcoin moving forward. And he forecasted it out to like 2030 or something like that. And I believe him. I believe that he'll follow that plan. I like it. And that's what you're talking about, Baloo, about having a plan. We've got a plan here. We don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You've got to be very agile to adjust the plan. But generally, I've got a plan for what I want to do the next 3 months with this position on these altcoins, and I can let it ride or I can call it sooner. But I got a bit of a plan to rotate in, and then get back to accumulate more Bitcoin. That's the plan.
Yeah. Share that tweet in the group. Yeah. And if you guys are interested in that tweet, come on in. Yeah. It's time to get bull run ready. It's time to get serious. It's time to, figure out what it is that you're going to do. Anyways, we're rambling at this point. Thank you all for joining into the live stream. If you guys haven't already done so, go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, sign up for your free Bitcoin trading bot, get into the free VIP Discord server where we're trading and sharing all of our live entries, exits, take profits, etc. And until next time, please trade safe. It is jungle out there. Peace.
Thanks, guys.